recently bought a SD card for my GoPro because my previous SD card keeps getting corrupted and it's really frustrating. So it always happens when I'm recording something that I really want to capture. And then for some reason, I know, like it'll record perfectly fine for video after video after video. And then something amazing will happen. I'll like record. And then I get home and then it's like, that file is corrupted. We cannot retrieve your file, but I don't understand it.
And I won't respond to it.
I won't respond to it. I'll just replace it. But GoPros are really expensive, so I can only replace the SD card and go from there. So that's my plan.
You know what else is going?
What?
Episode 33 of the No Kidding Podcast!
Woo!
My name's Andrew Millward.
And I'm Lisa Millward.
And this is our podcast. Welcome to it.
Yes.
You know, there's action cams on Amazon that are pretty cheap.
Cams? Okay.
Yeah, they're like rip-off GoPros. They're like the Chinese rip-off GoPros.
Okay.
I mean, they're from all kinds of countries, but those are the Chinese ones are the more famous.
But do they work like as good as a GoPro?
I mean, they give you like 1080p at 60 FPS, and they have like, you know, waterproof IP7 or whatever. So
that's very specific. Thank you.
You know, they're pretty good.
Well,
I mean, at least in stats, I've never like got one. So I have a GoPro. I'm very unimpressed by the audio quality, but otherwise it's pretty good.
Audio is impossible with GoPro. So your GoPro works fine.
What can you do?
You don't have issues with your GoPro?
You're like, so where's that GoPro?
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
Well,
works.
Mine's like 50-50, basically. And it always tends to be the worst 50. So, like, when I went on that beach trip a while back, I recorded a lot. And even our brother Tim he went diving with Dad, our father, and they went on two different dives. And he took my GoPro to film it. Well, the first dive he filmed and it worked fine. The second dive, user error, he dropped the GoPro and lost it in the middle of the ocean. And
now it's not a problem anymore.
So he missed recording that whole dive. However, the dive boat happened to spot it and they collected it. So I still have my GoPro, thankfully. But
your broken GoPro.
Yeah. No, it's not. Well, I don't know. Is it broken or is it the SD card? I don't know. But okay, so that dive worked. And then we went snorkeling and that dive worked. Like the snorkeling worked. Recorded that whole thing, but there wasn't really anything really too interesting. I mean, there was like pretty fish and stuff, but nothing like too crazy. And then I take it on the last snorkel trip, and that snorkel trip, man, we saw so many cool things. We saw stingrays, we saw eels, we saw rockfish, which is really rare and poisonous, but we saw a pufferfish. We saw different kinds of crabs and like, I don't know, like a lot of different cool things. And that is the one that got corrupted. And I didn't do anything different. I didn't do anything like weird. But so I recorded several videos on that trip, on that snorkel thing. 2 of them were fine. But all of the ones after that were not fine. And the ones that were fine were just like the basic fish, you know, that you see every time you snorkel. So I was like, what the heck? Like, anytime I record something really cool and interesting, it just gets corrupted.
Maybe your camera gets so excited that it accidentally corrupts the SD file.
I don't understand. And that happened the year before. Well, not the year before because that was COVID, but the year before that when we went. And Tim took it on one of his dives. And he said he saw a couple things. Like he saw a sea turtle and some other, I can't remember now what, but he said it was like such a cool dive. And then that entire file was corrupted. So we didn't get any of that footage. It was really disappointing.
Oh,
yeah. So it's really frustrating when it doesn't work when you want it to work. So I'm either this is kind of the last thing I'm trying. I'm trying a completely different type of SD card because I had, you know, like I replaced the SD card before, but it was the same kind as the one before. But this time I got the Extreme Pro. So I'll see. And if it works, it's supposed to be good. But I used before that, I used the SD card that they recommended I use. So it's the one that the GoPro website says to use. But I'm going off the rails.
So you're like one of those squares that like goes by the book. You like read the manual.
Well, yeah,
you're
because
like, I'll get the GoPro approved SD card for my camera.
Well, yes, of course, because they said so. Because it said the reason your card is becoming corrupted is because you're not using an SD card that is made for the camera. So I was like, okay, then I'm going to buy the SD card made for the camera. But it's...
Winks at Samsung.
Yes. And then it happened anyways. So now I'm going off book and I'm trying this other one and hopefully it'll work. I'm really crossing my fingers because I don't want to have to buy a whole new GoPro. Because they're like $400 now.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm saying go towards the Amazon links. I mean, try them out. Like, it's really not even, there's not even an investment. They're like $20 on Amazon.
Really?
They're really cheap.
Wow.
Yeah. And then you know what's great about that? You don't care if you lose it, right? Like, even if it's not that great a quality, it's like, then you have a $20 camera you can just like shove, wherever. If you just want to see like, maybe I'll get a cool shot here. Maybe the camera will get destroyed. Who knows?
That's a good point. As a backup, like have them both recording.
Like tape it to the front of a boat or something and see what happens.
Well, that's extreme, but okay. Could try it your way. So what's new with you?
Oh, not much. I have this delicious beer in front of me.
Oh, look at you. See, I almost brought...
It's called Appley Ever After. My friend got it for me from Ivanhoe Brewing.
Wow. That's funny because I knew you were into that. I just knew that was your kind of beer.
The Appley Ever After?
Yeah.
You like the pun there?
I don't get the pun.
What?
I don't get the pun.
What? You don't get the pun Appley Ever After?
No. What do you mean?
Appley.
Yes, happily. Oh, you're saying instead of happily ever after, happily ever after. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, because it's an apple beer.
Oh, okay.
It's an apple sour.
Oh, I see. So what's the actual name of the beer?
Appley Ever After.
Oh, it's actually called Happily Ever After?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I thought you were putting like a funny spin on the name of the drink. Like it was called like Appley Craft Brew or something like that. But then and you were like, yeah, I like it. It's Happily Ever After. I was like, oh, that's really clever. But now it didn't work.
Oh, you thought I was being clever.
I thought you were being clever, but apparently not.
No, unfortunately, I'm not that clever.
Oh, that's really a shame.
Ivanhoe Brewing is very clever for coming up with a name.
That's true. So it's from Ivanhoe. And where did you learn about this beer?
Well, from my friend. He gave it to me.
Mm-hmm. He's your friend?
Yeah, he delivered it. He put it upon me.
I actually wanted to go out. Is he your friend, or is he like our friend, or is he like a family member?
Our friend? Like, I would say friend of the show.
A friend of the show? Okay.
Yeah, friend of the show. Got me this beer, and it's very good. I was actually going to go out there. They were doing like an event, but I missed it. And so this was like makeup. Not a makeup thing, because I would have to make up to him, but he brought it for me anyway. Aww. So now I have to make up for him twice.
So did he buy you like a case, or is this just one beer that you've been savoring? And
it's one of those like really special. You know what beer is really special? When it comes in a 4-pack. It still costs as much as a 6-pack.
Yeah. I mean, I don't drink beer or anything, but I can fully appreciate that whole concept of like having a drink that you really enjoy that you can savor. That's like a little bit more pricey than, something you just pick up on the shelf.
Well, there's never you never get a soda or something that comes in. Well, I guess that happens, but it's pretty rare that you find a soda that's just like 4 of them instead of 6.
Right.
Like, oh, well, it's a weird amount of stuff.
Okay.
But, that's how the craft brews come.
So does it taste like apple?
Yeah, it's kind of apple and sour. It's kind of it's not a cider, I don't believe. It's in my koozie, so I would read the can for you, but it's actually interesting. It's a tall and a fat boy, so it's kind of busting out my koozie right now.
Oh, okay, interesting.
So I got a little bit of value out of it. Sometimes they'll give you a 4-pack, and it won't even be a big can. It'll be like a regular like Dr. Pepper style can, and that's like boo. One gulp and I'm done.
Boo.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So is that like your new favorite drink snack thing that you're enjoying lately?
Well, here's the thing. There is a boba shortage, but like Andrew, am in a boba shortage, which is Very sad.
Okay, I have a question.
Because I'm just trying to like eat from home and stuff. So.
Oh, okay. So it's
not go out.
It's not like a worldly shortage that you're feeling. It's a personal shortage.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, okay. Okay, then
sad.
I had a question for you, but I feel like it might just depress you.
Okay, go ahead and depress me. Go on, lay it on me.
I've been seeing this like uptick in trends with Thai tea. Have you tried Thai tea yet?
Yeah, dude, Thai tea with boba is the best.
Yeah, you've tried that. Okay, see,
of course.
I didn't want to say like, ooh, there's this new drink you can't have because you're restricting yourself. But
it's the hot item at these boba shops.
Oh.
It's usually like the number one.
Okay. So it's like, okay, so every time I see it, it's orange. So is it like one specific flavor?
Yeah, I mean, that's Thai tea. So they all taste pretty much the same. The Thai tea is like the flavor. So
okay.
If you're going to order a Thai tea from anywhere, it's going to taste pretty much the same. It's like pad Thai or something.
Okay, so it's like
that's
chai.
weird that I used another Taiwanese dish, but
that is
that's
weird. I was going to say like
chai
chai
man, they
tea.
would actually be a great pairing now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, man.
I love pad Thai.
Pad Thai is amazing.
I could go for some of that right
Let's
now.
stop this podcast.
Let's go get some
pad
Thai. It's hard to find really good pad Thai sometimes. Because sometimes...
Is it, though? Because it's, like, so easy. I feel like it's hard to get it wrong.
I guess, in some ways. But, like, I feel like there's a certain flavor.
It's hard to get the ones that are, like, a step above.
Yeah, like, I feel like sometimes, like, if you buy it, like, at the grocery store or something, it just does not taste the same. But then also...
Oh, like out of a microwave or something? Or like...
Yeah, like if you buy like the meal or whatever, like the frozen pad thais.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Well,
but then I have been to some restaurants too, though, that haven't really met my expectations. Like it's too, like it doesn't have enough sauce or something, like it's too bland. Or it doesn't have enough, like the right hint of lime, or it doesn't have enough peanuts, or something is off with it. And I'm like, doesn't really taste like what I'm thinking of. I just feel like...
True.
Yeah, there's like a certain balance of flavors that are necessary that sometimes...
And who would have thought, also, by the way, like, who is like, you know what? I'm going to, like, make a peanut butter noodle and then squeeze lime on it.
That sounds so good right now. I did buy... I don't even remember where I bought it. I want to say... Oh, I think I ordered it from Thrive Market. But it's like a peanut dressing, basically. That's pretty good. I can't remember the name of it, but I will post it or something and share because I like it on different things like salads or different pastas if I'm feeling like, you know, that sort of flavor that I'm missing with the pad thai. Because pad thai is also kind of expensive to just like get on the regular. It's kind of one of those treats I get once in a while, but you know, yeah. But speaking of drinks that are kind of more expensive than the norm and I've been kind of liking lately, is this drink called Olipop. Have you seen that lately?
Olipop or Aldi Pop?
Oli, O-L-I. So normally
maybe I have seen
I don't
this.
really like fizzy drinks normally, like too much fizzy drinks. And I don't drink this very regularly or anything, but what I like about it is it's actually a prebiotic drink, but it's also kind of like the seltzer flavored water or whatever, like flavored drinks where it's bubbly but it's got a flavor to it, but it's not soda, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like that, but the thing I like about Olipop is, one, it's good for your gut because it's got prebiotic and everything in it, but also it's not super fizzy. It's like smoothly fizzy. I don't know how to explain it, but it's very refreshing because it's not overly powerful on the like shocking your system with those bubbles, you know what I mean, that burns your throat as you swallow. I just cannot stand that usually, but it's very soothing, and it's tasty too. It's not like...
I think we've talked about this, but you should probably get one of those the soda streams so you can set your own fizziness.
Yeah, I could, but see, I mean, like, I typically I don't ever like crave.
You don't even want 0%.
Kind of, yeah. Like
1%
it's kind of like
fizzy.
just once in a while I'll have like a treat like that because it's not like I ever really crave it or I seek it out or anything like that, like any kind of fizzy drink. So it's more like, oh, I see it sitting there and I'm like, I'm gonna try that, and I try it and it's pretty good. So I was like, oh, I can do this once in a while. But again, they're like pretty expensive. I have yet to be able to find a case of them. I could only find individual cans, And the individual cans are like $2.50 for the entire, just for like a 12-ounce can. So I'm like, that's kind of, whatever.
That is, yeah, you're in the 4-pack of beer situation.
Yes. So anyway, so I've been trying that out. Also, another thing I've been trying out is the cotton candy grapes. I know that I'm like way behind.
Yeah, those are wild.
I'm way behind on this because people have been talking about these for years. But my store never carried them, so I could never find them. But I was at the grocery store the other day, and I saw them, and I was like, I'm going to try these things.
You're like, grab those.
I know, it's time to try. And they actually are pretty good. They don't taste like cotton candy at all, but they are sweeter than like a typical grape. Like grapes are usually more, what are they more like? I don't know. They kind of have like, everybody knows what a grape tastes like. But anyways, this is like sweeter than that. So, I don't know.
Huh. Yeah, I definitely got like a little bit. I understand that it's not like, when you have it, you're not like, oh my God, cotton candy.
Right.
But I don't know. Like, I could definitely taste a little bit of something.
Yes.
There's something there.
It's something.
And it definitely is reminiscent of cotton candy.
Okay. But is that a mental thing for you? Because it's like, it's supposed to taste like cotton candy?
No, I'm pretty sure if no one had told me, I would probably be there for a while. Like, what? I know this. It's like, I know this flavor. Like, I've tasted this somewhere. And then, like, after an hour, I'd be like, cotton candy. It tastes like cotton candy.
An hour exactly. Okay.
Have you ever had a grapple?
I don't think so. What's that?
They're like apples that taste like grapes, I think.
Oh, no. I don't think so.
Oh. Well, that's your next mission.
An apple that tastes... Well, I don't know if I'd want that. That's weird to me. I don't know.
Yeah, science has gone too far. Let's just cut it out.
Yeah. I don't even know if that's edible at this point. Will I die? I don't know.
You know what is super freaking edible?
What?
I've been watching this YouTube channel that is just like so good. People probably are gonna know what I'm talking about because like every time he makes a video, it goes viral because they're amazing.
Oh.
But I don't know. Like, there's something special about this channel. It's like a food blog kind of thing. It's Alvin Zhou, I think is how you pronounce his name.
Zhou? Okay.
I think he's Chinese. But the care and love that he puts into his food is amazing. And like the amount of, it's like he says it's like he's heavily inspired by like Miyazaki films. There's some kind of like chill hop aesthetic ambiance that he has in his videos where like he never talks. Like there's just subtitles that he like
he doesn't
kind of
even
talks to you through the subtitles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's just kind of like just him making his food, and he's always like goes through this whole process, and like I don't know, it's crazy. Like some of his recipes are known for going for very long periods of time. His latest video is a 150-hour chocolate cake.
What?
So it's a chocolate cake that takes 150 hours to make.
150 hours.
Like he's not over the bowl like whisking the whole time. Like a lot of it's like fridge time, like letting stuff sit overnight and stuff.
Yes.
But yeah, it can be like a 3-day process where he's like, okay, and today we are gonna make this part of it, and then you gotta like let those flavors meld together in the fridge, and then like freeze this part, and then we're gonna like drop it into the sauce in the next part. And that's why I kind of call it a food blog rather than like a recipe channel, because he doesn't actually post like recipes and stuff. He says like in like some of the descriptions like, oh, I just usually like kind of cook by feel.
Really?
So like, but he does, he'll say like what he's putting into, like in the subtitles, like what he's putting into what.
Interesting.
But I don't know, it's just full of personality. It's like super aesthetic. Like they're like wonderful shots of like just him in his kitchen, like obviously like really caring about the food and stuff, and like putting all his effort into it, and like taking this long, like very patient amount of time just to make like some chocolate cake for his friends.
That is really inspiring and like interesting, because it's like the whole Asian culture with the Buddhism and things like that, where they really like take their time, and do even the smallest mundane things very purposefully, and they probably get a lot more pleasure out of it. However, what if something goes wrong in this whole process? Like, what if like you spend that much time?
Here's the thing. I think he legitimately, the feeling I get from him is that he legitimately enjoys the process. It's like meditating almost. It's like when I watch his videos, I feel like I'm meditating. It's just like he even in his hand movements, like he's just like massaging the dough. He's just like slowly mixing things together and stuff. Like he's just he obviously just like cares about making it.
So
I don't know. I think he enjoys the process. I'm sure he'd be disappointed. Don't get me wrong.
But I think that's kind of what I'm saying is the inspirational part, because I do hear a lot of people say, "Oh, I love cooking because it's like my time to myself. It's very like meditating, like you said." And, you know, it's just like a very chill time for them. For me, it's not at all. It's very stressful for me. The idea of spending 150 hours on one recipe kind of stresses me out because it's usually a very emotional roller coaster for me, cooking. So I feel like maybe I could learn a lot from this guy. Like I could watch his videos and really feel at peace about cooking one day, maybe.
They're super freaking good. I mean, like he has 100-hour lasagna that just looks
I just
delicious.
clicked on that video. I was like,
yeah, he makes the dough, he makes like every single aspect of it. He like creates the sauce by like basically letting the meat dissolve into the sauce like overnight. And oh man, I think his most famous one is the 100-hour fudge brownies.
Yes, that one is
cool.
His like welcome video.
Yeah, you can tell though that he because of the love and care that he puts into these videos. Like he started, I guess his first upload was 10 months ago.
Yes.
He only has like 9 videos so far.
Wow.
So
what's also
like a video a month essentially.
What's also very impressive, because I have done videos, and I've done videos while cooking. So there's a whole separate element there
right.
going on. So to capture in a very cinematic way like he's doing takes a lot of time too. So
yeah, setting up the shot, getting like the lighting right and everything.
And so yeah, it's very impressive. I like it. And just so anyone knows, it's spelled ZHOU. So Alvin Zoo, maybe, or Zoe. Zoo or Zoe. So
Couldn't say.
But yeah, that's a good recommendation.
I think he works for Tasty, I believe.
Oh, he does?
If you want to see him and do other stuff. He has on his channel, he links to, he does like documentary style stuff. I haven't really watched a ton of that, but I have seen like him and Babish do stuff together, binging with Babish.
Oh, right.
Because because he like did some stuff for Tasty. So yeah, so I guess that's where he gets his day job money. But yeah, it is cool because it's like a pretty big departure from Tasty, which feels like such a like bing bang boom, here's a recipe. Like everybody knows Tasty for like that very like slap all this stuff together and there you got a baked chicken, whatever.
Okay.
Like very I don't know what you call it, quick. But in any case, I feel like it's like the new age version of the food channel. Like watching food stuff on YouTube is so much fun. And this one is like, oh my god, it's so pleasant. Like I wake up in the morning sometimes and I'm like, I just want to watch this guy make a beef Wellington over the course of 72 hours.
Yeah. Well, what's really great is that you don't have to watch a 150-hour video. He compiles it down into like a 20-minute video, just so everyone's clear on that. Because when you said that originally, I was thinking, this is going to be
like the live stream.
This is going to be a really, I have to really be committed to this. But his food also looks really amazing too. So that's nice. Yeah. 48-hour chocolate.
And I have to imagine, like, with the kind of production quality and stuff he puts into it, like, he must have by now made something that didn't come out looking very good and decided not to, like, just scrap the video or, like, totally restarted. You know?
Yes, exactly.
It's got to have happened. Out of 9 times, he's got to have made at least one thing that didn't look good. And I see 9 things here that look good. So something must have died. So I always appreciate that when people like really put forth an effort to make something of like really good quality, and they're just like, will not allow something below a certain bar.
Yes, right. I know it
takes a lot of effort.
It does, and it makes you appreciate it more probably. And I don't know, is there something really nice about that? Like, showing gratitude for even small things like cooking. And I don't know, I wish I could be more like that with cooking. So maybe he will inspire me to be more like that. I don't know. But I feel like I'm like that with certain things, but definitely not cooking. Cooking is the nightmare.
Is it just that thing that you need to do to survive?
It's like I want it to be, I think my expectations for cooking is just too high. And I want to be better than I am, and I'm not improving, so it's frustrating.
Wow. What do you do?
I know I have to lower my expectations, but truly, like, I will say this: it's usually when I'm cooking for someone else that I get like that. When I'm cooking just for myself, I really don't care, and I take a little bit more enjoyment out of it. But it's usually when I'm cooking for someone else that I get really stressed out. So
yeah,
there's some element there about wanting my finished product to be something good enough to for this person, because I think a lot of times you're trying to cook like it's a form of love in a way. Like you're doing something for someone, so you want it to be good and you want it to be like what you feel like their expectations are going to be, but maybe my expectations are higher than their expectations, and so I put too much pressure on myself. And even if it's somebody like Mike that I live with, and I know, he probably, I don't know, he's kind
I feel
picky,
like
so.
When I cook for people, though, I try and destroy their expectations.
Oh.
Like I essentially, like, I want them to enjoy it, but I want them to be like, what is this? Like, I never thought I'd enjoy this. This is amazing.
Yeah, okay.
Like, I want them to be like, I want to, like, take everything I know about them and like, expose them to something new.
Right.
It's like, oh, wait a minute.
See, okay.
I'm like, yeah, that's right. I knew you liked, like, sweet, savory
Right.
things. You didn't think about, like, dipping pretzels into icing, did you, huh?
That's what we used to do.
That's pretty good.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, that's so good.
But okay, so take that expectation of like, you're like, yeah, they're going to love this. They're going to think they're going to hate it, but they're going to love it. And then you give it to them and they're like, I hate this. Then,
yeah,
you know
and then I'm like, you're just holding on to your expectations. Let it go. This isn't my fault.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So I think I have a lot of negative feedback too, and that doesn't help my confidence very much, but it's fine. I'll watch this man's ways, and he will be my Zen teacher, my Zen cooking teacher. That's my plan. Now that you've introduced me to him, so thanks for that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I don't know. We didn't mention it last time, but I have a home now. Well, I mean, we mentioned it before that I was getting a home, but we never mentioned that it went well. I do have it, and it was so nice, and it was just perfect, and like almost ready to move in. But then I started knocking down walls.
Oh no!
And tearing up floors and doing stuff that a maniac would do if he were let loose in a house. But I did it in my own house.
Uh-huh.
So now there is that situation. But I don't know. It's kind of cool to be feeling kind of handy and like going around, and I'm like routing cables and stuff, and like cutting like ports for outlets, and like basically I'm networking my home. But
yeah.
I'm also like looking into like all the smart home solutions and stuff, and
very cool.
Yeah. There is some really cool stuff out there, like smart light switches and, smart blinds and smart everything to the point where, like, I know, like, a lot about the atmosphere of smart home stuff. I've definitely dabbled in it, but it's different going from being in, like, an apartment that you can, like, modify minimally to a home that it's like, yeah, you want to, like, install this in your wall? Go ahead and do it. And it's just like, okay. It's another level. And also security. Like, I never really bothered in an apartment because it's kind of like, I don't know. I just hope, like, whatever the apartment is, like, the gating will keep people out. I don't know. When I'm in my own home, it's like, okay, well, now I probably have, like, security cameras and stuff. And, like, how to set all that up and network it. And I feel like there's some really great cheap security plans out there, but they're all, like, wireless based. And I really am I'm trying to see about where I can like have everything hardwired to the
that's ideal.
Like to the most of the stuff, I hope I'll be able to hardwire like the cameras and stuff, but also like it's really hard when you start thinking about like, oh, how do you hardwire like a smart lock?
Well, that's
like
one of the.
I need to put a wire on a door.
Yeah,
like
that's probably the one area, that you wouldn't be able to do that. But
hey, says you. Just watch me.
That's yeah. I mean, you never know. I'm sure you're pretty handy with that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
but
we'll see.
This is kind of on topic. But Mike does that for a living. So if you ever have any questions about smart homes, settings. He installs all that in like high-end homes and like, you know, the crazy big houses and stuff. So he knows quite a bit about all that. And we have not a security system, so to speak, but we have, you know, cameras and stuff that, and he seems to know, and he's installed quite a few of those too in other homes. So, yeah.
Fancy.
If he might be able to get you a hookup or a deal or something. I don't want to speak for him, so especially publicly. but you know, I'm just throwing that.
I'm putting him on blast.
That's so exciting though when you have your own place, your own home, and you get to kind of do what you want and make.
Also, kind of nerve wracking. Like I just like cut a square into the wall because I'm like, okay, I need to route a cable through here, and I need to like drill through some wood that's in the wall, and now there's a hole here, and I need to patch that.
Yeah, yep, that's part of it, I guess. But it'll all look great once it's all finished, and you'll say, "Oh, I have everything how I want it to be." Just don't burn your walls down or anything.
Here's hoping. It was actually the annoying thing is a fire stop. I think that's what they call it. Is they put a like horizontal. You know how there's normally like vertical beams that make up your walls, the studs.
Yeah.
Well, okay. In some houses, newer ones particularly, they will put vertical or horizontal ones that like about waist height that they call like a fire stop. So if like a fire starts, I guess it doesn't just like spread right up your wall. Like it kind of slows it down a little bit if it starts at like the base of your wall. But it's annoying when you're trying to route a cable down your wall to be at like an outlet level. Because you're like, oh great, now there's a horizontal piece of wood in the wall, so you need to like cut a little hole, little window in your wall so that you can drill through that, and then you can like, it's a whole thing. Yeah. And now you have a punched out hole right above your outlet. You're just like, okay.
Have you ever seen that movie, The Money Pit? You have.
I have the Money Pit house.
Yes. Have you ever seen that?
It just keeps getting worse and worse.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah. This would be a perfect time.
Start like collapsing in on itself.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, this would definitely be the perfect time to watch it.
Yeah, just like sure you get.
Maybe I'll feel better about myself.
Exactly, that's what I mean. Like I think it'll be good.
I think there's a weird annoying chores that I didn't even think about. Like the home inspector is like, oh yeah, you got a flat roof. You definitely need to like keep that cleaned off. So you're supposed to like go through and he's like, you should take a blower and make sure that you don't have like buildup up there.
Oh
like
my gosh.
Any kind of like tree fallings or whatever. Yeah. So I'm like up there just listening to music, like blowing off my roof.
Oh man.
Just like, I never thought this would have to be something I have to schedule on my Google Calendar as a regular reminder.
I guess that's the home ownership. You know what? Last night actually, Mike and I AC broke. And so we spent like 3 hours trying to fix it. And the thing is that, so you know this because you worked with Dad with his HVAC stuff, but so when an air conditioner, it has a drain pipe, so the condensation and the fluid, the water that drips can drain. But if it ever gets clogged, it backs up and then it overflows either inside your AC or in this like overflow. So we were having issues with that because we couldn't figure out where the blockage was because it was building up like in a different, like in part, we have a part of the drain pipe that has an access, and so it was leaking at the access, which is like basically just a cap that you can take off and like get to the drain pipe if you need to for any reason. So anyways, but it was really frustrating because we did the whole vacuuming it or sucking, the drain pipe out and trying to like clean out any debris or anything like gone in there, but nothing was coming out, and it was a pretty strong vacuum seal, so we're like, what's going on? But it turned out that, so we went and we got a snake, that you have to like, but the problem is our pipe has so many turns and like kinks in it that it took forever to get that thing through the pipe. But eventually we did, and there was like a ton of gunk in there. I don't even know how, and I don't know what it was, but it was like white and slimy and it looked like paper towels had been stuffed in there and just, and eventually it all came out, but it was,
somebody's screwing with you. Somebody's balling up little bits of paper towel.
I don't know, because as I was cleaning it up, I was using like cardboard to kind of like scoop it or whatever. It was very slimy and very like, I don't know what it was, but anyway, we dumped a bunch of vinegar in there.
What a mystery.
Yeah. I mean, it could have just been slime buildup, but it's a pretty new AC unit. It was installed like 2 years ago, or maybe like 2.5 years ago. So I don't know. Maybe it did build up. I don't know. But it was, anyway, we fixed it. Thank God. Because I was about to lose all faith in, anything
humanity.
Holy. I was like, oh gosh. Because you cannot lose AC in the summer in Florida. You just cannot. It's like, it's the worst thing. It's the worst thing that could happen to somebody in Florida. Other than,
in
death.
The world, I assume.
But it's crazy because, they're having those heat waves up north and like the Pacific Northwest right now. They're having like...
Oh, yeah. They're not prepared
they're
for
not
it
at all. And a lot of them do not have AC because it never gets hot enough to have AC there. And they're...
Global warming!
It's like hitting like 100 or above 100. 109, I think it hit one day. And so people are just going nuts, which I could not imagine. Our cousin lives up there. Kara, she lives up there. And she was saying like they just go outside and like play in the sprinkler all day because there's nothing else to do.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's like really north. That's like almost Canada where she lives, right? Like.
So anyway.
That's wild. Yeah. What you move that far and you're still like, wow, it's hot.
I know. Right? And even here, well, it's been like actually kind of cool here lately, which is weird. But not hating it. Cool as in like low 80s, high, like mid to low 80s, which is very cool for the summer here.
Right. Not complaining.
Not complaining. So yeah, it was hard to complain about my AC when they're kind of dealing with the worst heat ever. So, but it was very nice to get it back because even it was only out for like 3 hours, I think. And even in those 3 hours, it was hot. Like it dropped down. I think the house got to like 82, which, is pretty warm. But anyway, speaking of houses, I also have, I think maybe I mentioned this before, but I bought a birdhouse that's clear and it attaches to my window. So, basically I've been waiting for a while. I got it a couple months ago. And everything online, all of the reviews said it's going to take a while for the birds to find it because I guess it's see-through and they don't like smell or whatever. So how do they know it's there? But so I've been waiting. And then one morning I woke up and I heard a noise and there was a bird in my birdhouse. I was so happy. So guess what I did immediately? I installed a bird cam. And so now I have a bird.
Glad to see the GoPros going to
yeah,
good use.
well, it's not the GoPro, but it's like an indoor house camera basically, and it's pointing at the birdhouse now. And I've been
live stream 24/7. How do I look at it?
I don't think it's on live stream, but it is set up to motion sense. So I keep checking every time there's like motion, but it's never a bird. The bird hasn't come back. I actually that's not true.
He's camera shy. Maybe he was like, oh, wow, okay, you're just going to put up surveillance like that?
Know.
Like, no thanks.
But actually, before I put the camera there, a bird came back. I don't know what kind of bird because I wasn't here, but I know that they came because the bird food was gone. But since then, and also there's like...
Oh, yeah, always bring them food because my neighbors immediately came over and brought me food, like friendly welcome to the neighborhood thing. That'll keep you in a neighborhood.
There you go. Yeah. So now they know. They're like, oh, she's friendly. So, oh, really, though? But your neighbors did that? That's nice.
Yeah, they brought banana bread. And it was very Stepford. And I was like, uh-oh, what do I do?
Yeah, like, should I?
Say thanks. And also, like, they're like, hey, welcome to the, and I'm, like, knocking down the wall, and I'm all covered
like,
in
oh,
dust.
crap,
and I'm
one
like,
of those.
oh, hey. I wonder if they're like, man, we wasted our banana bread trying to make friends with this house flipper that's just going to, like, sell this house
True,
in a couple
yeah,
days.
they probably do think that.
And I'm like, oh, hey, guys.
Your house
is
going to
me,
be...
all dusty.
Yeah, your house is going to be so... nice when you're all done though. Like it's gonna feel just like home, like when you make it how you like it, when you're in your comfort zone, that's the best feeling. Yeah.
Here's hoping.
Yeah.
Did you get the kind of birdhouse that like sticks to the window? I don't remember.
Yes, it's like it's got suction cups and they suction to the window. And so here's the thing. There's a couple of modifications I'm thinking about doing. I'm thinking about adding a little bit more of a platform for them. And also, see, it used to have these rubber things on the ledge where the bird seed goes so that they can sit on that and then eat. But one day when one of the birds came, I guess they took it. So it's no longer there. So I need something more permanent. It does come off and on so that you can wash the bird seed thing. So I might get something that I can like glue on there. And then also I was thinking of extending it a little bit so that they have more of a platform to sit on. And then also I have to change out the food every time it rains. And again, Florida, it rains every single day. So I'm changing out this food a lot because the rain gets in and soaks the seed. And it does have a drain, but it's not enough. And so the food gets like soggy. And I don't think they like that because they don't come back for a while after it rains.
Not a fan of cereal?
I don't think so. So
you've modified the structure. You've added some cameras. Have you tried adding some smart switches and smart lights?
For the home? Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. I do have a motion censored light. So if they do come at night, it will light up.
Maybe they don't like that.
Yeah,
maybe
but
that's what's driving away.
I don't think they come at night though. I don't know that many birds.
You gotta have an infrared light.
Unless it's an owl. I didn't think about that. Am I spooking off the owls? Do you think an owl would eat that? Probably not. They like mice and stuff.
Yeah, I think they're pretty much raptors.
Yeah, so
through and through.
Well, that's fine. I don't need an owl. Well, I mean that'd be really cool though. Having an owl sitting on your windowsill. Just saying. But no.
I heard some owls talking the other day. I was walking at night.
Oh yeah.
And they were hooing back and forth among the trees.
Yeah, I have seen a couple owls in that neighborhood before, just when I used to walk over there. So they are
pretty wild.
They are there. They're huge too. But I also have been putting out vegetables in my backyard because we have rabbits. And I'm trying to encourage more rabbits to come into my yard because I don't think they come into my yard very often. But I see them in other people's yards. So I'm like, how can I...
how do I get that?
Yeah, how do I get this fantasy of like rabbits just being in your yard all the time? So I'm trying to encourage that. But I don't know how to get them to know that I have these wonderful treats for them. I just I don't know. And also I think the motion sensor kind of might spook them if they come. But I do have many visitors. We have armadillo that come. I think there's been a couple
grasshoppers.
Obviously grasshoppers, yes. But I don't know what to do to spook them away. Nothing yet. Maybe the birds would help. See, I need more birds. Because
you're gonna become a crazy bird lady just to ward off. Oh, but then that'll bring the cats, which you also don't like.
Well, I don't mind the cats in the yard. We actually have 2 cats that live in our backyard. So, well, technically, they live in the house behind us, but they're outdoor cats, so they jump the fence and they're in our backyard all the time. They patrol our whole house, actually. So
smug bastards.
We have a ring light on our front door, motion, whatever. So every night, the same cat comes and comes to our door, checks out our patio, and then checks out our driveway, walks down in our yard. He's prowls our yard a lot, so. We're safe. He's our...
And you got the montage of it.
Yeah, always.
In your Ring app.
It's basically at 3 a.m. every morning. He comes by and check.
You just turn off your motion alerts, so then if anybody wants to sneak up, 3 a.m. is the time.
I know, right? No, we leave it on because it's not like a loud alert. We can check it and say there was an alert at 3 a.m. What was that? And it's always the cat, so... Yeah, but we also have...
I think you might like Death Parade.
What?
I think you might like Death Parade.
What's that?
So it's this anime. I had an anime night recently with my friends, and we basically just showed the first episode of a variety of shows that we all thought were interesting. And somebody put up Death Parade, and it was pretty interesting, and I think you might find it it's almost like anime Twilight Zone in a way. It's kind of...
Twilight?
I guess I wouldn't...
What do you mean by Twilight? Like the...
Twilight Zone.
Oh, Twilight Zone. Okay, yeah. I do like Twilight.
Yeah, I guess it's not really an anthology, but the characters I think are always different. I only saw the first episode, but then I was given a rundown on kind of how the show works. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. I don't know. I don't know if I want to spoil it, but basically it just seems like there's this kind of like room that people come into, and they have to like have like life or death situations like happen upon them, and like go through these kind of like charades, and there's this bartender that's at the center of it all.
Oh, okay.
It's very interesting.
So it's kind of my type of a dark anime theme.
Yeah, I think it would tickle that spot, spark that interest.
Cool. Yeah.
I also watched Durarara. Or sorry, Durarara.
Say that again.
It's got two. Durarara.
Durarara. What the heck is that?
It's DURARARARA exclamation point exclamation point.
That sounds horrible.
It's weird. It's like a slice of life, like at least the part that I watched that was just like living in Tokyo, kind of like very like simple thing, just going off the first episode, like just kind of a guy hanging out, meeting different people, like just came to Tokyo from like somewhere else, and then some supernatural stuff happens, obviously.
Okay.
And then suddenly the twist.
I like twists.
Yeah. I think actually the best one, though, personally, like I think you'd be interested in Death Parade, but the standout one for me was Demon Slayer. So it's a popular one, so people will probably know, but it looked like a really cool show. It was kind of like feudal Japan time, and I don't think there's like they really put like a time period on it, but it seemed like that was kind of the thing that was going on.
Okay.
And rural kind of situation, and then this guy just kind of encounters a demon, and
does it have like a story?
Craziness
like a plot?
Ensues.
Like it's like
yeah, definitely. Okay. Yeah, they set up a plot. Again, I only watched the first episode of all these, but
okay.
It looked very cool.
So that.
But go ahead.
No, so I was just gonna say, so your anime night was like testing out new anime. Like. Yeah,
it was just kind of like it was like a I don't know. I feel like there's a term for this. A potluck? No. White elephant? No, nope, that's not it.
Like a mukbang for anime?
Yeah, it was just kind of like everybody brought forth something that they found interesting and shared with the group. Oh. And we just kind of like watched the first episode of a bunch of stuff. It was really good.
What did you bring?
Actually, an interesting standout. Nobody wanted to watch mine, actually. I don't want to talk about it. Okay. And we watched Sailor Moon. So the Disastrous Life of Psyche K was actually really, really funny.
Funny? Okay.
Yeah, that was the standout one for comedy. Like I think that was the only one that we watched that was like purely comedy based.
Say it again.
It was actually
Disastrous Life of
Psyche K.
Psyche K.
That's SAIKI. And then the letter K.
Okay.
Yeah, it was it's hilarious because it's just like it's this absurd anime that's based off of a guy who's like borderline a god. Like he has all these superpowers. Like he is like psychic. He can like tell the future. He can like move things with his mind. He can like, I don't know, do a bunch of stuff. Like I think he can like transform stuff. Anyways, so he's like laying low and trying to live a normal life. And so he's basically always playing this like meta game of like trying to work around other people's psyches that are like, he knows what people are thinking and what they're going to do next. And he's constantly trying to like do this mental chess game of like staying one step ahead of them to like stay unnoticed and stay like out of situations. But then like, I don't know. It's just like this hilarious thing where he keeps getting drawn into like situations where people like want to make him the center of attention or something, and he's like desperately trying to not have that happen. Or sometimes it's like from an outside perspective, he sees somebody about to like have a really bad time, so he's like trying to fix it but without making himself like the center of attention or even them know that he helped them in any way.
So he's kind of nice. Well, he's a nice person.
Yeah, I mean, he's very indifferent, I would say. Like, he kind of, like, very begrudgingly is like, if somebody is in trouble or something, and he's like, oh, this guy's gonna, like... And he's like, all right, I gotta do this. And he, like, tries to, like, think of a way that he can, like, telepathically, like, change the scenario so the guy, like, doesn't get hurt or whatever. Or, like, tries to, like, do this stuff without raising too much attention. And then, like, occasionally people will just, like, focus in on him. And it's just him basically, like, just trying to avoid them and keep an eye out for all the situations that would possibly make him the center of attention, or, like, people to draw attention to him.
Right. Okay.
So it's just a show about him basically trying to be the most aloof, like, antisocial person in the world, and having all the superpowers in the world to achieve that goal, doing his best to see it through.
Okay. Interesting.
And it's just like, it's so hilarious just by the way that the writers come up with absurd situations to, like, try and push the boundaries of, like, the character.
Okay.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. It sounds funny. I usually watch the dark ones, but I could get into the humorous ones too, because it's kind of my two genres. I either like really dark or like really light and comedy based. So
You're like, no middle ground. I'm black and white
it's
only.
pretty much, yeah. I mean, like, I need to hit both, like, strong emotions, or else it's just not worth my time, basically. But it's funny because you were talking about that character, and it kept making me think of Q. Do you know Q from Star Trek? He's basically
no.
Well,
I'm gonna say no.
He's like that. He's basically a superior being that has all of these, like, any kind of, you know, ability that you can think of, and he it's almost like he kind of wants Jean-Luc Picard to be his friend, but he's, like, malevolent, and so he's kind of got this evil side to him, and he's just mysterious and weird, but he does, like, things to be funny, and I don't know, he's always making everybody's life chaotic and weird,
but also at the same time, come on, be my friend.
Yeah, but also, like, be my friend. I just want to. This is his way of being fun. You know, those friends that are really annoying, and you're like, okay, but they think they're doing that to be like your friend. That's how they're friends. I don't know. He's kind of like that, but
that's actually pretty funny to have somebody who's like a superior being that's like that annoying friend at the same time. Great. This guy has superpowers, and now he's the worst. Yes,
they basically say that he has like juvenile humor, and he's just always trying to cause problems, and he'll just do random things. He'll, like, put you in a weird place, and you're like, how did I get here? And then, you know, it's Q just messing around or whatever. I don't know.
Just messing around.
But
they just show up in a dark room with no doors or windows.
Yeah, I don't know. But that's what it reminds me of. But it's obviously very different because this guy's, I don't know, maybe they are the same. I'll have to, not same, but similar, but I'll have to watch it and see. That's interesting. Yeah, so speaking of, like, not really hitting the spot for me, I've been watching or trying to watch Downton Abbey, which has been like super popular, but people have been telling me to watch it forever, but I keep not forgetting, but just putting it off because it's just, I think I tried to watch one episode a long time ago, and it was so boring that I was like, I'm never watching the show. But then people keep telling me, people that, like, I really respect their opinion, so I think, oh, well, if they like it, I mean, I'm gonna like it. It can't. So I'm trying to stick with it.
Cannot be good.
Yeah, it cannot be good. And so many people like it. They're actually made a movie about it, and they're making a second movie, which is coming out this year, based on it because it was so popular. And so, anyways,
I've heard a lot of good things.
Yeah, so have I, and I'm now on season 2. Season 1,
and it's great.
That's the thing. It's one of those weird shows where it's like, it's missing a lot, but it has something that keeps me coming back. Because I'm on season 2 now. So they've got me to season 2. So something's pulling me in. I
haven't given up yet.
They're tricking me, but I feel like, because it's like, I don't know. Like, there is something that's keeping me tuning in. But there's also so much of it that I'm like, like, I'm so, I don't know. I think what I miss, I've never really been into, like, quote unquote romantic movies or shows. And I feel like there's like just a little bit too much romance for me. So it's like those storylines, that are just like drawn out and like, will they, won't they? Like, there's this
the tension between two crossed lovers.
Yeah. So it's like there's these little dramas going on here and there. And I mean, I don't know. I think that's the part that's like drawn out where I get kind of bored. But then there's like some parts that are interesting that are kind of, and one thing I did hear was that it's similar to reality in terms of history. So there's some historical elements into it that I do enjoy. That part is something that I think drew me in. They talk about the war and about like different things that are happening in that time period, like the 1918, 1917 is kind of like...
I'm getting some vibes for like Outlander.
Yeah,
I feel like I remember you thinking that show was kind of like had a little too much on the romance spectrum.
That is true. It does have that, that element to it, but it's nothing like the vibe is nothing like Outlander. So, okay, here's something that I do kind of like about it. I don't know if anybody listening has seen Call the Midwife, and I've watched that show. That show could be considered quote unquote boring, but it's one of those like kind of like feel good shows where it's just kind of comforting because it's like there's just enough going on that's like, it's very interesting and it is very true to the time and it is very historical and whatever. So it's like this comforting it's British, by the way. Like, so it's a British show that's like, right. I don't know, just kind of, and it does have that element. So it's very similar. So I think that's part of like the nostalgia of that show is like, I'm connecting with this show, but I can't seem to like connect with any of the characters. And I think that's also part of the problem where I don't have a character that I'm like invested in. You know what I mean? Like any one of those characters could leave the show and I'd be like, okay. Whereas some shows, if a character leaves the show, I'm done with that show. I'm like, if that character's not coming back, I'm not here for it anymore. You know what I mean?
Well, maybe that's good. Maybe they've spread you out, so you're interested in every character.
Maybe.
Or are you interested in no characters?
No, that's the thing. I kind of feel like I'm not really connected with any of them. But who knows? I don't know. So it's one of those shows that I haven't made up my mind about, but I'm giving it a shot. So, yeah. There we go with that. One other thing that I've been kind of watching lately has been the gymnastic trials for the Olympics. Have you been watching any trials or any like things for the Olympics?
Serena Williams isn't in.
Who?
She's out. Serena Williams is out.
Serena Williams is out. She's out of the Olympics?
Yeah, she said she wasn't gonna go. She's gonna take it off. She's gonna take this Olympics off.
Just by choice?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That was it. That's all I know.
That's all you know. Okay, well, good enough. But I wonder if that's because, well, anyways, we won't dabble in her business. Okay, good for her if she wants to take the year off. But anyways, I've been watching gymnastic trials a lot because gymnastics is probably my favorite Olympic sport. And it was really interesting. I mean, nice. It was very, cool to watch. So that's something I've been watching. Did you know, this is kind of a little side fun fact, competitive art used to be in the Olympics. That used to be an Olympic quote unquote sport. I don't know. Are there only sports in the Olympics? I think there are. But anyway, competitive art.
Competitive art, that's so subjective.
Yeah,
though.
that's why they got rid of it.
Like that's almost like, that's almost the entire like thing about art, right? It's all up to like the beholder.
I know. That's what's so weird. It's like, how could that ever be an Olympic, I don't know, event? I guess it was what it would be called.
I guess there was somebody that was really good at art and was like, we need to make this an Olympic sport.
Yeah. But see, I feel that way about gymnastics sometimes and ice skating because they throw too much. True. Like
it is an art to an extent. Like that's why I think they because in the Olympics, it's like from a perspective, from a viewer's perspective, it's very much like an art form. Like they're expressing themselves on the ice, like the free time. What do you call it? Free dance,
freestyle,
ice skate time, freestyle time. They go out there and they put on this beautiful performance, and they're like, 8 out of 10, and then you're like, why? And it's always like, oh well, they're judging them based on their technique and like this, like basically the semantics of what they're doing rather than like
art.
Whether it was quote unquote good.
Yes.
Because you can never really say if it was good. So I guess, are they saying like, if they had like competitive painting, would they be like, oh, the blending here is like amazing, like 10 points?
Yeah, I agree. Like that's weird. Like I've never really enjoyed that part of it because I feel like you said, it's so subjective, and like if you get a judge on the panel that prefers that particular style that's not really fair, I guess. And I feel that way with gymnastics too. Like I don't know why. I have to research this some or something, because I don't know why girls, whenever they're doing their floor routine, they also have to do dance elements. And also on the beam sometimes. They have to do these little like dances. And the boys in gymnastics don't do that, but the girls do. And they are judged based off of like the dancing portion of it. And I think that is...
I guess if it's part of your routine, it should be up for judgment. But I think maybe they do that as like because it's got to get in your psyche a little bit, right? Like if you do like the dance, then you're like, oh, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But like I think part of it is to show their personality, and it's like the uniqueness of their style.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but I just feel like it's kind of a subjective element. Because with the tumbling and stuff, like, okay, you get certain points for certain heights or certain flips, or like different levels of challenge. I don't know. So like, how do you judge the elegant side of it? I guess I don't know. So I'm not sure if I am into that, but it'll be interesting. I'm excited for this year though, because I hate to be on the Simone Biles train, because it's kind of like she's like she's the name. Yeah, she's the one on top, and you always want to be kind of rooting for the one that's not on top, because
the underdog.
Yeah, the underdog. But it's just crazy how good she is, that it's cool to watch and see, what she can do. And
you're not rooting for Michael Phelps, are you?
Is he competing this year?
No.
Oh, I don't think so. I was gonna say he's kind of old, isn't he?
Wow.
I mean, isn't he?
He's like 30 or something, and you're like, he's out. But you're right.
Well, I mean, for sports, I guess is what I mean.
I mean, honestly, yeah, it's funny. It's interesting to see the sports in which like people that are like pretty old actually are still able to compete. Like it kind of lets you know, I guess, a little bit about that sport and how, because some sports like definitely require like youth.
Right.
I don't know how else to put it. Like at a certain point, like you just can't competitively like play against the best people in the world. You just can't do it.
Right. Yeah, your body kind of just gives out, and you've had too many injuries, or...
He's 36, Michael Phelps.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess that's pretty old.
And he's very long.
I mean, how many Olympics did he compete in? Like 2 or 3? 2?
Yeah, it wasn't a lot.
Yeah, because he was like huge for like 1 year, and then...
He has a total of 28 medals.
Wow, that's good. He was really good. Didn't he have some kind of...
all-time record for gold medals.
Oh.
Go on.
Didn't he have some kind of like deformity or something that made him better in the water?
Well, his body is really weird.
Well, I know,
like if you look at it, it's like, what the heck? Like he's super long and like his legs and stuff. I think it's just one of those things, where he just happened to be the, person for that sport. Like you always find like super tall people playing basketball. You always find people with like, super long legs doing the swimming. So
true. Yeah.
It just works for him,
It's true. I always liked swimming growing up, like not competitively, but I just really like swimming back and forth in a pool.
Yeah. It's a good exercise. It's supposed to work out like all your body.
All y'all body. Sure. So yeah. And I actually, little story time, I did gymnastics for not a long time, but like, several years. And I was asked by an Olympic coach to train with him. And
so maybe you could have beat Michael Phelps.
I could have beat him in swimming because of that. So I'm just saying, I could have been.
That is super cool.
Yeah, it was neat. And I had like private lessons with him for a little while. And I was really good at the beam. Mostly that was like my strong one. And then I was on the bar. We worked a lot on bars. And my floor was probably, the vault was probably my least my worst event because I was terrified of it. I was just terrified of it. I don't know anything else. I can't get around it. It's scary.
Yeah.
Like if you've ever, it's just scary. So that one was tough, but the beam and the bars were fun for me, and I really enjoyed it. But it was just too expensive of a sport to stay. It's extremely expensive. So, and our parents, of course, were not
Really? I mean, you you have your body and you put it on
I know.
stuff.
You would think it'd be so cheap, but apparently
You could just go to a place that has those things.
I guess you could. But yeah, so our father pulled me out, and
Not quite that easy.
he felt bad about it. So he built me a balance beam to just use in the backyard, and it was fun, but it just wasn't the same. So I did
kidding.
I did it for a little while, but eventually I stopped. And yeah, so I just enjoy watching like the craziness that girls can do. I mean, I don't think, if I'm honest with myself, I don't think I ever would have gone. I mean, maybe, you never know, but
Yeah, you can never know.
you can never know. But it's just impressive to see these girls push
especially when
themselves.
you know like a bit about the fundamentals and stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's always easy from the outside to look at something and then just be like, oh, I don't know, if I trained a little I could probably do that
Yeah.
or something somewhat close to that.
Yeah.
And then it's like, no, if you've actually ever done it, and it's like you do this one basic like starter move and it takes you like a month and you're like, oh my god, my body's broken.
I know. I remember I made my coach's nose bleed once because I kicked him in the face. I felt so bad. I was like, oh. I was doing like a flip or whatever, and he was spotting me. But
Right.
anyway, yeah. So that's been fun. I'm excited for the Olympics, just mainly for that. But I'm sure I'll like the other ones. Do you ever watch them? Do you ever? Because I'm not a big sports person, so to speak. But for some reason, the Olympics is like a totally different.
Yeah, you just can't miss that curling. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
they have
it's
the
just
weirdest
important.
sports. I know.
Yeah, they have some interesting sports, and it's always like from all around the world. It's kind of interesting to see that's like, I don't know, like people from Florida, for example, like competing in like the what is it, sled bobbing or whatever, where they go down like the ice chutes. And I'm like, where did you pick this up? Where did you like decide I'm gonna be an ice sledder in like from Miami?
Right, I know. Like, it is strange. What's really weird is how they pull people from different countries and then claim that they're from, like the United States.
Yeah, it's basically like
but-
it's like trading cards.
Yeah,
They're like,
yeah.
hey, you come to the United States, so we can say, hey, look who we have on the United States team.
Yeah, I don't know. But as long as it's the best of the best, it's just kind of cool to see that level compete. So
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. What's our time look like?
I think we're getting there.
We are getting there? Okay.
Yep, we're pretty much toast on this one.
We're crispy and toasted. Brown. Do you like golden brown or dark brown toast?
Depends on the bread.
Yeah, okay, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Always depends. Everything's relative, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I in general I like a toastier, a darker. I like I can honestly enjoy burnt toast. Like it's not bad.
Okay. Yeah.
Today I toasted I crushed up some nuts and I toasted them. Oh, so good. Roasted pecans in particular are amazing.
Yes.
They're like unbelievable. They're so good.
Nice.
I can't even. They take on a whole nother flavor that's like so like nutty and toasty and delicious.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Yep. Are those the ones that they sell on the side of the street sometimes, like the toasted pecans?
I mean, I don't know. They have all kinds of crazy
Oh.
stalls along the road. I know that there's like pralines and stuff. If you ever seen
Oh,
those.
yeah.
That's usually pecans. I don't think they toast them, but they're like candied.
You know what's disgusting? And I hate to offend anybody, but if you like boiled peanuts,
Boston baked beans.
cannot.
Oh no, boiled peanuts.
I cannot understand.
They're just like wet peanuts. I don't know.
And they smell. The smell.
I like a good
is
seasoned
so
peanut, but
bad.
just like a soft peanut. Like I don't know about that.
Yeah, that's strange.
I like a crisp like barbecue seasoned honey oat. I don't know. What are they seasoned in usually?
Yeah, like a honey, or sometimes they'll do like sugar, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's usually like something sweet.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I got I have some cashews from Whole Foods that are Thai curry. They're amazing.
Really?
And I mixed them with pecans and almonds, and it's so good.
Oh,
they're so good.
So
I wish I had toasted the pecans first, but other than that,
okay,
amazing. 10 out of 10. 9 out of 10, but I'll toast them next time, and then it'll be 10 out of 10.
You'll have to make me some.
I have 2 bags of it in the kitchen, so
nice.
Swing by.
I will. And you know what I've dangerously, what I've done? I've done a bad thing. So, I don't know if I told you about my Chex Mix addiction, but I think I have.
Okay.
Okay, so it's like homemade Chex Mix. And it's basically like, well, everybody knows. Like
you don't make the Chex Mix, though. You buy Chex Mix, and then you make the homemade Chex Mix.
Well, right. So you mix the Chex Mix pieces into your homemade trail mix.
Chex Mix.
But it's called Chex Mix. I don't know what it's called, actually. But you're right. You know what I mean. Not the cereal, but the like combination of stuff, like the pretzels and okay. So anyways, I got addicted to that stuff like last year, during COVID, basically. I made probably like 5 gallons of it and just like ate it all within a month. It was bad. Like probably like every 3 days or 4 days or something, I would just make a new batch and just for like 3 weeks straight would just be eating Chex Mix. Anyways, I don't know what came over me, but I've been trying to deny myself. I kind of like put it out of my mind. But then I went to the beach and our cousin Delta had some and she was eating it as a snack by the pool. And I was like,
give me that.
Dang it. I got the taste of the sweet stuff and I went out and I've bought all the ingredients. I'm going to try to keep it to one batch. I'm going to try, but stay tuned for that journey.
Do your best.
Stay tuned for my trail down the road of addiction.
Maybe I can divert you here. I can have you try the Thai curry.
Right.
And it's like, I'll just go to Whole Foods and buy that.
But what if I do that and then I make a Chex Mix out of the Thai curry peanuts?
It would probably be pretty good.
With sesame sticks. And, that would be so good. Okay. I'm thinking about it. But we'll see how that goes.
So
stay tuned, guys.
I'm pretty hungry.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch this more Alvin show, I guess.
Yeah.
And just get even hungrier.
Me too.
Because I already ate dinner, so I'm not going to re-eat. Oh, I'll have a salad. Because I bought this is what happens. You place an online order for groceries. Your significant other puts in some spinach for what they need. And then you go in like, I need stuff for sandwiches, and then add another thing of spinach. And then you both underestimate how big the bin of spinach is. And you end up with 2 overly sized bins of spinach.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I've overdone spinach before too. So
metric gallon of spinach here.
There's so much you can do with that, though. You can mix it in your eggs. You can put it on like pasta. You can put it on your sweet potatoes.
That's not true.
It is true. Oh my gosh,
That's not true.
And I'm just telling you, try it out. Some cinnamon, sweet potatoes, spinach. There's lots of ways you can eat spinach, so that's good. You could put it in a smoothie.
I can make a spinach wrap.
You could make a spinach wrap. You probably could make a spinach wrap.
They're actually giant leaves. It says right on the front of it, baby spinach, and I'm like, this ain't no baby. This is mama spinach.
Okay. They're
like huge leaves. I need like 2 leaves for each of my sandwiches.
They should name one mama spinach. It's weird. I've been going to the grocery store and I keep seeing things that I swear aren't real. So like I'm in the produce section. So
maybe you should be going to the therapist.
No, but I'll be in the produce section and I'll see like fruits or vegetables or something that I've never seen before. And I think
you're like, am I on the Truman Show?
Yeah, where did this come from? I don't even know I can't think of one specifically, but
I would totally do that. If I was like the director of the Truman Show, I'd just start putting in like weird fruits that they've never heard of that's totally made up. That's just like Schneckflagern. And they're just like, what? This isn't a thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, it's exotic. It's from Schneckflagern.
Could be.
Like, where?
It's not even a real place. Can't even fact check it. Okay. Well, anyway, maybe I'll get more exploratory and try some of these new things I see. But don't count on it for the next time. Don't ask me about it. Just ask me about my my Chex Mix addiction.
You're like, I'm putting on the record here. Don't ask me about it ever again.
Yeah. If I don't speak about it, then there's no sense in bringing it up. I'll probably forget because I do that often. So, yeah. I'll check out those animes, though, and I'll probably recommend them to some people that I know that like anime, so we'll see what they say.
And you do too, audience.
And you too.
Goodbye.
Bye.
So long, very well, Pip Pip, cheerio, we'll be back soon.
I said bye really weird.
Bye.
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 Bye. Bye. It's weird. I don't know.
Bye. What if we replaced ourselves with goats for the next episode?
That would be awesome.
You think anybody would notice?
Yes, I do actually, because we don't sound anything like goats. We sound maybe like chickens or cows. Speaking of lambs, though.
I love